All right. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to podcast episode number one of Penthouse 5007 in Network State.
Hello. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Good to be here.
So, hey, man. So, I think, yeah, we want to do like just a chill discussions of getting to know you a bit more, what you are doing, what are you up to, stuff like that. And maybe it's a short intro, right? So, I know your name is Ganesh, but what's your full name? Can you help me to tell me your
Yep.
full name?
Yeah. So my full name is Ganesh Ramalingam.
Okay.
Ramalingam is my father's name. Yeah.
So, Rama Linga.
Yeah. Correct.
Right.
That's right.
Cool. So I call you Mr. Rama
No. Ganesh
then.
just.
So Ganesh, can you tell me more about your life in a very short summary? Let's say in 3 minutes. How would you describe your life? Where do you grow up? What
Yeah.
did you do?
Yeah.
And then where you end up right now in your life?
In one word, I'll say colorful. But let me elaborate on that. So I live in this little red dot called Singapore. If you have heard of. I spent 30 over years of my life over there. I initially worked in the creative industry, served 2 years in the military service, and then worked in the creative industry. And that's when I really stumbled upon tech. I worked in a video cloud-based platform initially, starting from the ground up. And I really, I think, saw the value that we could create with technology and fell in love with it. And from then on, I always looked at creative ways to use technology to empower people in small ways possible. And that's generally how I've been throughout my life.
Okay, right. But this is not a job interview, right? So let's forget about creative industry. Let's
Yeah.
talk more about how do you grow up? Like what are the things that you do when you were teenagers?
Yeah.
Like what brings you at the end to like this path of life?
Yeah. Actually, interestingly, you remind me of the times where I was mostly a gamer. So I spent 10
Oh
years
wow.
gaming. So I started off playing games like Counter-Strike, Dota, a lot of MMORPG games
Nice.
at that point of time. Ragnarok, a huge fan of Japanese games actually. So I would safely say that I played more games than study. Not sure whether my parents should be watching this. But so I played this game called MapleStory in secondary school.
Maple Story.
Correct.
What is it about again?
So it's like an MMORPG game. You get to
Okay.
choose like a different character within the game, and then you earn your currency called mesos. You try to level up, and then
Wow.
you play one another. Keep in mind, these are still during like dial-up internet days, so really slow internet,
Right.
laggy.
Yeah. So now they know that we're a boomer, right? You Milan internet basically internet you put a cable on it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So every time like a friend calls me and say, hey, what you're doing, I get so frustrated about it because
Right.
they disrupt the whole game all the time.
Right. Yeah, I remember the sounds and all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no, I mean interestingly, why I said that was there was a time where we found a system where if you it was probability based. So they had a scrolling system. Every little object has 7 little slots, and you're
Right.
supposed to put like a 10% scroll or 20% scroll, which is basically the chance that you get for the scroll to be successful. And if
Okay.
the scroll is successful, the currency value of that object increases. So if you get like out of 7 slots, if you have 2 slots with that 10% chance scroll activated inside, it significantly increases. So to give you context, that would be like 30-40 million mesos in currency, and each million is about like $20 to $30 back then. So found a way mathematically to make that happen, made it happen. So at 14 years old, when I was selling my account, I made $10,000 playing that.
Wow. Like 10,000 actual dollars.
Yeah, correct. Which
Crazy.
Yeah.
Which at that time probably is quite a lot, right?
Yeah, correct. Too much money for a teenager. I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't really spend it as well.
Wow. Okay. Wait, I mean, you said something there. You said like mathematically. I mean, you don't look like a guy who's actually doing math.
Yeah.
So maybe what is the key takeaway that until now, or maybe like help you along the line, right? What are like the big learning that you
Yeah.
got by playing this game?
I would say one of the biggest learnings I got was never, I think, trust your intuition when you're doing something. I know it sounds very sophisticated or philosophical, but let me bring it back to a bit more on education, right? So I played all these years. It wasn't the most rosiest time during teenage years, so I was very close to retaining one of my years because of playing too much. I went into set 3, I think that point in time I was like 15 years old.
Okay.
I met a teacher, my maths teacher. He understood that I was not really good at math at that point of time. Interestingly, he was playing World of Warcraft. That was his wallpaper on screen.
Oh, he's playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, correct.
Do you still remember his name?
Um, Actually, I don't. I wish I did. Yeah, I can't remember at this point of time, but I definitely remember how he looks. If he's watching this, I thank him for his experience. Because what happened from now is interesting because since he played World of Warcraft, I could relate to him as a previous gamer. So whatever he was saying, I just listened a bit harder versus any other teacher.
Right.
And he told me that my fundamental or foundational maths was just not very good. Things like factorial stuff or very basic math was just not very strong. So he said, I'm going to give you 300 questions. Finish up the 300
Wow.
questions in 2 days and come back. That's all you got to do. I'm not asking anything else. And he challenged me for that. If you do this, he said, I'll give you something in the game. And that worked perfectly fine. Like
Got
the
it.
incentive was good. It's aligned what I
Got
wanted. I finished all the questions, right? Like I had definitely a lot of challenges. I finished it in record time. But what happened after that was crazy because I could understand the most fundamental math and I could now learn math a lot easier. Within that year, I was top for A maths and E maths in my school,
Top in the class, you mean?
just in the level itself.
Okay.
Yeah, math, and this was
Crazy.
from a year where I was failing maths.
Right,
Within
right.
1 year, he managed to turn it around.
Right. So you go from like 0 to hero just in
Yeah, maybe not zero, but definitely like 30, 40 out of 100.
or minus.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Wow, that's a very cool story, man. I mean, as you know, right? If you meet a great teacher at that time, you'll learn a lot.
Correct,
Probably sticks until now as well.
correct.
Okay, so after that, you mentioned a bit about national service, right?
Correct.
So maybe, I mean, I'm not from Singapore, I'm not very familiar, right? Can you explain a bit more, not just like what it is, but basically what are like, again, the learnings from it and why do you think it's actually important for you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, when I was turning 18, I didn't think it was important. I really didn't want to go for it because it strips away that independence, or I felt it strips away that independence that I actually had. So what actually happens is when you turn 18, you have to serve national service as a mandatory thing for all guys in Singapore. It's for 2 years. So you go through 3 months of basic military training, and then they find your strengths, and then they place you to a unit.
Right, so that's straight after high school.
Yes.
So
straight
before
after.
college.
That's correct. So correct.
Wow.
So imagine after all the partying and then now, bam, like you go into this place and train rigorously.
And it's just full of guys, which...
Yeah, correct.
I mean, probably you're happy there as well.
No, I wasn't exactly.
Okay.
Correct. So I mean, I think what is interesting is that you end up learning a lot more about discipline. You won't know it then, but you have to wake up at a certain time, and if you don't, you're going to get punished. Everything results in a form of punishment, so it really trains you to be in a certain way, but it also allows you to lean on one another and learn from one another to accelerate.
Right.
So it could be like route march, just marching together when you're tired.
Right.
Your buddy is just helping you out, go through it and get through it.
Okay.
So you build really beautiful memories in that. So I would say a lot of my discipline that I actually embody in my life right now actually came from that part of my life, when I was 18, when I was in national service. Yeah.
Interesting story. So, I mean, I'm learning like different national service in different countries as well, right? But in general, from your experience, do you think it's a good thing to have in a country to do national service? Or do you think in some cases it's just too militaristic or it's just, it's too authoritarian?
Yeah. I think this is a thought I always had. So there's an opportunity cost. So if we put ourselves as Singaporeans in comparison to other counterparts who are not going through national service, I think they are able to skip through education a lot faster and get into the job force sooner than the rest.
Okay, got it.
So, I mean, aside from whether someone should do military, I feel like that is the major opportunity cost in place. But that could be slightly argued for the life skills that you learn throughout the 2 years that would help you accelerate in your career moving forward.
Got it. So it's actually just like stepping back to move forward in different ways, right?
Correct.
I mean, not just the military part, but also like personal development.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now going back to like afterwards, right? So you did national service and then you mentioned that you went to creative industry. So I assume you probably don't do college, which is fine.
Yeah, that's a safe assumption. Yeah, I dropped out halfway. I didn't have as much interest as I imagined myself to be. Funny story, I actually wanted to be a lawyer since I was very young.
Okay.
Yeah, but then...
Like a lawyer?
Yeah, like a lawyer.
Wow.
A lot of my friends, I think, naturally would believe that I could become one because...
Why? Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
I think it's for that exact reason, because of why. Like, I keep asking a lot of whys, very argumentative, generally trying to be on the other side of the coin. Trying to
breaking
use
the law
evidence.
in a way.
No, not the breaking the law
Okay,
part, but
just
just generally in conversation, trying to support it with evidence, and I enjoy doing that. And a lot of times you get into like really heated up arguments with friends.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But what did you study at the end? So you said
Yeah.
you didn't do law, right?
Yeah, correct. So I studied communications, and then
Wow.
yeah, that was a bit different. And in the end, halfway through, when I was going through the papers and all of that, I just didn't have that interest level as I imagined it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so I stopped that from that point of time. Yeah.
All right. So that was like, well, where were you in your kind of like life? Was that like 20,
Yeah, that was like
22,
post national service, 21, 22.
21, 22? I mean,
Correct.
that's ages ago, but like,
Yeah.
so is that why you, at the end, you went to like creative industries because you learned communication, or like, why are you there? Like, what is it actually? Maybe start with creative industry. What is creative industry? What are you doing there?
Yeah, so back then I was in the production line. So you kind of the people behind a TV show, a movie. That's exactly what I was doing.
Okay.
So coordinating, planning, maximizing budgets, trying to get teams together to create content, long form content for the national broadcaster.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're more like the idea man, or like the one who's organizing behind
Correct.
it.
That's correct.
That's what you're doing.
That's
so
correct.
like all these teams are with us right now, like helping us and with
Yes.
all this podcast.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. With that then, why do you quit, and then what did you do afterwards?
Yeah, so I think I was working a lot during that period of time. I enjoyed it, but it was just a very time intensive type of function. And over time, I didn't feel like I was growing internally. Because of that, I think it was a very lucky time as well, where one of the people I used to work with said that, hey, I'm working in this new video tech company. It was Sequoia backed at the point of time. We were trying to revolutionize the whole video creation space through a cloud platform.
Wow.
Very early, like in 2014, 2015.
Right. Video creation company.
Correct. So like agencies, normally you would go to an agency to create a video.
Okay.
They had a full-fledged service where you could come in, hire a creator, get an editor,
right.
and they would shoot in Dubai or Australia for you, put it back
Right.
on the platform, and within 2 days you have everything done without even moving your finger.
Okay. So they made everything easier. And what did you do over there? Is it also like kind of like similar role?
Yeah, so I started off as client management. I mean, it was a 30-minute interview, and they said, yeah, we'll take you in. Like, that was all, like, no questions
Nice.
asked. And I spent 5 years there. So I started off as client relationship management. I was working with clients like Uber, Standard Chartered Bank, Meta, Google.
Right.
And then really got close to the founders, started out the product operations team. So I was managing the creator activations, the client management,
Right.
also the product operations. We were a 100 people team at that point of time. And I was across like a few verticals before I left. At that point of time, I think I felt really strong about how the Web3 industry was growing, and I wanted to start a company.
So is that why at the end you started a company, just because you see something is popping up in terms of like
Yeah.
technology opportunity? Is that it?
Yeah, I would say two things. One, I naturally operated better in a very non-rigid environment. So somewhere where you have a lot more creative freedom, you could do more things in smaller teams. Where the company that I was at was a lot larger. There had to be more systems in place. It was harder for me to stay as motivated as I would imagine myself to be. So at that point of time, I only made one decision, that I should join a startup accelerator. Antler is one of these early stage accelerators where they fund people with ideas from 0 to 1.
So that was like, when was this again?
This
2
was,
years ago, 3 years ago?
I guess we're going to find out my age by the end of this podcast. I would say 2018, 2019, or could even be 2020, like 4 to 5 years back for sure.
4 to 5 years back. So that's basically how you started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned like crypto, you mentioned accelerator and all that. So you built one company over there. But what happened, and maybe I think most interestingly, is like the journeys and the learnings that now you're building this new company of yours, which we will discuss after this.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to. The learnings, maybe let me think about some of the learnings that we had before the company was started during the accelerator program experience. If anyone who is going to get into an accelerator, I think the times you actually have over there, even though it's very grueling and hard to decipher what's going to happen during the 1-2 months, it's one of the most beautiful memories you're going to have during a startup building phase, because you meet other builders who are on the same level as you.
Yeah.
So they understand that challenges that you're going through. On top of that, you are able to connect with them on a much deeper level and have fun. Generally, building companies is not as boring as it looks. It's really
Right.
about building something new and also having fun together. That could be managed very well. With accelerators,
Right.
that experience always comes out very strongly. And in Antler, even though that was like a 10-week program, we started the previous company called Fireball, which is like a data infrastructure company in the Web3 industry. A lot of the key learnings is that personally, since it was my first company, I was spending a lot of time making thousands of mistakes. I think one of the biggest mistakes I would say that kept popping up in my head was focusing too much on the product. So the aesthetics of the product, like you always try to look like we should be the Apple of this or that.
Yeah.
Focus on nitty gritty.
Got it. It's what they always say, right? The first time founder focus on the product, second time founder focus on distribution, and third time founder focus on what cars they will buy.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get to the third one soon. Like there's a list.
We're still on that level. Okay, so you learned that, and now you're building something new.
Correct.
All right, so
That's correct.
maybe just like explain before you tell what your company is doing, or what is actually the problem now that you're very passionate about, and actually pulling you out of like what you did before and now doing this thing.
Yeah. So the thing that I was doing before this, in all transparency, was just playing a lot of pickleball, closing the other company, and now I've been playing a lot of pickleball.
Okay, maybe let's stop there. Let's also mention that I think if I'm not wrong, you are leading one of the biggest pickleball communities in the world, which is actually in Singapore, because Singapore has a lot of pickleball community players, right? Maybe tell me like a bit more about it. Like, why is it important actually?
So I think before people look for me after this, in all disclaimer, I think Malaysia is still one of the biggest in Southeast Asia. They have like about 300 pickleball courts. Singapore is picking up. We have about 5,000, 7,000 players. We manage one of the largest communities within Singapore. We have about 2,500 members. Wow. We host about 10 to 20 sessions a month. What started off as actually a single man activity, I just wanted more beginner friendly games so that I wouldn't get like always be trashed by others. That was the only intention initially. But as we were meeting more beginners, teaching them how to play, and then also playing with them, it really became more like a family. Everyone bonded well. People from different walks of life. We have lawyers, doctors, startup founders. All of them just come together to just really play and have fun.
Okay.
Yeah, so aside from pickleball, we also have dinners, lunches, we have theme nights.
Right, so it's more of a movement or a family event, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like playing.
Yeah, it's a community movement. You're right, absolutely.
Got it. And I mean, you mentioned the numbers, right? 2,000, 3,000. That's like incredible, right? So what is the next steps for you? What do you want to get out of it? Or maybe like, where do you see this community growing in the next years?
Yep. I think at the rate that we are growing, essentially, for the community to further grow, we need places or more available pickleball spaces. I think they're still quite limited in Singapore. But the whole idea would be, can we make this into a movement, not just about pickleball alone, but about bringing people together and getting people engaged. I think that's where the true value is, because right now, a lot of them are just meeting together, and fundamentally, I think what we have actually done is bring loneliness a level down,
Right.
and in a much more sociable and less because I mean in Singapore, if you looked at hobbies aside from sports, a lot of them will say I'm going to party on a Friday night. But right now, with a lot of the pickleball members, I see, are you playing pickleball tonight? And it's a huge change for me.
Got it.
To be wanting to play sports at a 7 p.m. on a Friday versus being
going out.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually a positive movement as well, right, for the people.
Correct.
Right. So, like in one sentence, how would you close this? Like, what do you want to get out of it, or basically, what are your plans with it?
Yeah, I'd say we want to open up more pickleball spaces, so our dedicated home, if possible, and that would be a start to something a bit more larger. If I had to think of it more on a macro level, I think if we had one space in every country, that would be the best case scenario.
Okay.
But we believe in taking baby steps at a time and also being behind and doing what the community wants to do together. All this while has been a collective decision always, and we try to stay with the community and see what they want.
Got it. And also for like single people to meet and
chill. Yeah, for sure. So if you're single and you want to meet more people, come.
True, I can't play pickleball, but I'm single and maybe I can try as well.
Yeah, correct.
All right, so maybe going back to kind of like the direction we took before, right? You mentioned that you've quitted your first or previous company, you played pickleball all day long, all night long, as I understand. And now you started something. Like what's exactly the connecting points there?
Yeah. Actually, interestingly, there was a hackathon organized by Nebius. So Nebius is an infrastructure provider. They're funded by $1 billion. Their competitors are other cloud solutions. It was a time where, I think it was in April, where we had to take part in a hackathon. Me and my friend, my previous co-founder, Tree, took part in it. And as we were taking part, when we were ideating and looking back at ideas, something just really pulled me to the space that I understood best. And that's really videos generally, like I started in the video space, I worked in a video company,
Right.
I was in the surveillance unit in military service. So I just felt like everything was just gelling up very nicely to what I
Right.
wanted to build. So I looked at it, I looked at the problems that existed previously, and those problems were still existent for many reasons. Infrastructure cost was high back then, it was not possible to solve it. And we looked at it now, the timing was impeccable because AI is just picking up right now. Everyone's available for that. Infrastructure cost has significantly decreased because of Moore's law. As years go by, technology improves, costs go down. And yeah, and we thought, okay, let's do it. Let's create what we call like a control F for video search for videos.
Control F for videos.
Yeah, correct. So essentially, like you have Google for search, for text, documents. We were seeing how we could do semantic or simple search for videos. So we created a very quick fix solution where you could just upload your clips, search through your clips. And let's say you uploaded Mr. Beast clips and you wanted all the clips he was in a blue car out of that. You search for blue car, get 5 clips, and we stitched it for you. So you got a whole brand new video back then.
Okay. It's like, I don't know, I forgot which movie is it, but I think a long time ago, was it like American Pie or something? There's this game of when you actually find and try to count how many times the guy said like fuck you or something. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Like
Exactly.
you basically have to watch it and you have to count it.
Correct. Yeah. In this case, you don't have it.
Yeah, in this case, basically you can just like type it, Control F, and like find these things, right?
Correct.
Okay, but now like, let's think about the serious world. Like, I mean, you mentioned with your experience with security, military, or like other industries. Why do we need that? What are the use cases that you think?
Yeah. So generally, we are around videos most of the time. Let me highlight a few situations where we are always across videos, right? At least in the public security and defense vertical, there's CCTV footages, body cam footages, there's drone footages. So there's cameras all the time. We are recording trillions of hours of footage, but the current stats are that 99% of them are unused and they're not utilized effectively. So you have, let's look at it on a micro level. If let's say you are in a condominium or real estate building, you have like 2 or 3 security guards looking at maybe 20 to 30 different cameras. It's just not possible. It's not possible for 3 people to be looking at 24 cameras at all times. So this results in high risk for potential threat or potential crime to occur. This is generally why video solutions need to be optimized better. If you do optimize them better, the deterrence level is higher, and you'll be able to detect threats a lot earlier than usual.
So what you're saying is also for like not just finding something, but also as a precaution, right?
Correct.
If something happened, then you can not expect, but you already give like a real time notice or analysis or something.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what is like, maybe we talk about the technology a bit, right? So what are like the first principle, like the founding layer of technology? Like how is this even possible?
For one, I think the models that was doing this semantic search, so it's a multi-model approach on how you can do it. You can break it down from audio, video, and scenes by clip fragmentation. Bulk of the, as much as a lot of solutions could maybe do it on a lean level last time, the cost was too expensive. In context, I would say anywhere between like a 20 to 60 minute video would have been more than $30 to $40 easily if you wanted to process all of them and search through it.
Right.
So if you did that at scale, so let's say if YouTube was to do that and allow you to search within the video, it would have been impossible for them to monetize.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's generally one fundamental challenge in that space. What has changed is a lot of AI models have become stronger. They're not still as strong for very specific use cases, but now that they've become stronger, it's easier to utilize them. And also when you're doing the processing and using cloud infrastructure for it, the costs are significantly lower at this point of time. And there's also new technologies that makes it possible to be able to semantic search much better.
Semantic search. Okay, got it. But as you mentioned, right, the technologies are now there. It's possible, as you said as well, it's becoming more economical, right? But how do you see this technology develop in the next 5 to 10 years, and where do you think that you will fit in this big picture?
Currently, we're very focused in the defense and public security vertical. This vertical, aside from just being able to provide the technology, I think there are 3 areas that is highly desired, which is the trust layer, accountability layer, and the compliance layer. This needs to be served together with the solution, and we believe there is a sweet spot where we could fit in right now. And we're also in discussions, early discussions with some of the government officials to try to pilot the product.
Okay, I mean, you mentioned security, defense. I mean, right now it's a big topic, right? Just around the world. There's tons of money pouring in, especially with tech as well. A lot of people are building on it. So imagine, I mean, very first question, like, where are you right now? Are you like building? Are you fundraising? What are your asks?
Yeah. So I think after the hackathon, what we have done is initially we were a very broad category. We're trying to see which is the vertical that we could add most value. And we have verticalized it and focused very much on defense and security based on the experience that me and my co-founder has. So from then on till now, we have secured early pilots, early agreements with companies who want to utilize the product. We are in discussions with the government that would materialize within the next few months. So we have a six-figure pipeline right now that we're trying to convert. Always happy to speak with people who have huge data libraries, who want to improve their compliance structure. And we are also looking to fundraise really soon. So if anyone's really interested in this video space, in the defense public space, public security space, happy to chat with them.
Right. I mean, that all sounds amazing, right? So imagine that I'm an investor. I mean, I don't have that much of money right now. But if you are talking to investors, and what would be like one sentence, of the why? What should someone who doesn't know the space too much, doesn't know much about the technology, should actually not miss these opportunities? Like, what would be your best, I don't want to say pitch line, but best convincing points that you have, so I will invest in you right away, right now?
I think more than the product, this is what I believe in. I think the last decade was about recording history. And then if you truly believe that the next decade will be revolutionary, it will be about turning this into memories. And we are going to be at the forefront of that. So if you believe in that, and I don't believe that this opportunity will come again, right? So this will be an opportunity to be at the forefront of turning videos into memories, if you stick with us.
Turning videos into memories.
Yeah.
Wow. So if you remember like the song of Video Kill the Radio Stars.
Yeah.
So now it seems that memory is killing video sooner or later.
Yeah. I think time for a new track.
Cool. Well, yeah, great. Then I think that was it for today. I mean, I think we cover a lot. And yeah, cool, man. Really, really cool to know what you're building right now, and especially learning about technology behind it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think thanks for watching. So, Mr. Ramalingam, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Okay.